Hey everyone, this is Mario from United We Dream and welcome to our first Periscope. Today we're joined by Lorela Praeli, who's United We Dream's Policy Director, and we're talking 3-year DACAs. As some of you know, a story came out yesterday talking about 3-year DACAs, which led to some confusion in our communities. And so since we've been receiving a lot of questions on Twitter and on Facebook, we wanted to make sure to address those concerns. So we're here to do that, and thank you for joining us today. Lorela, what the hell is happening?
So Mario, you should remember that DACA is fine. It is alive. People are rocking their DACA applications and renewals, and they should continue to do so. You know, there's been a little bit of panic in the last 2 days. People are saying, "What's going to happen?" I've heard that, you know, I got a 3-year DACA, and they're going to take it away from me. And what you need to remember is that that's actually not true. What ended up happening is, many of you know, there is a court in Texas. And there's a judge, his name is Judge Hannon in Texas, who has stopped all of the implementation of future DACA expansions and the new program that's called DAPA for some parents in the United States. And he stopped all of that for now. And then what happened was the Department of Justice made a mistake and issued about 2,050 DACA with 3-year work permits when he was really only supposed to do 2 years. And so because they have to fix that mistake, they have to take the 3-year work permits back only for the 2,050 people that got it. And they have to issue them a 2-year work permit instead. So those people will continue to have their DACA. But a lot of the confusion, Mario, has been around people, about 100,000 people who got their DACA between November 20th of last year, when the president announced the executive actions, and February 16th of this year. All of those people are fine. They should not be sending their cards. They should feel really happy that they're lucky and they get to have DACA for 3 years. And everyone else should not panic.
Great. So what you're saying is that those folks who received a work permit of 3 years between the president's announcement last November and February 16th of this year, as of now, if they haven't received a letter in the mail, don't worry about it. Your DACA is fine, and whatever the expiration date is on there is the valid date.
Yes, let me be really clear because I don't want anyone to panic. If you received your DACA and your work permit between the period of November 20th of 2014 and February 15th of this year, you have a 3-year work permit and you have not been told to send any document back. You still have your work permit, you have your DACA, everything is fine, you should go on with your life. Have fun, go to work, go to school, do what you gotta do.
And what about those folks who may have gotten it after that date but haven't received a letter yet?
They will likely get a letter because the Department of Justice is working with USCIS, who issues your DACA card and your work permit. And they're gonna give you a 2-year card and they're gonna ask you to send your 3-year card back. Because they made a mistake and have to follow the judge's order.
Great. So we're going to go to some questions that we received on Facebook over the last couple of days. And we're not going to say the names, but we'll just lay out different scenarios. So this young person here received a 3-year card issued on January 28th. So he was issued a card on January 28th. It's obviously been about 4 months since then, and he hasn't received anything in the mail about sending it back. And he's wondering how long it takes for that letter to get to you, but there's some clarification that's needed there, right?
Yeah, so can you say the date again?
January 28th.
Of this year.
Correct.
So if he or she received his or her card on January of this year, that does not have to be sent back. He or she should not get a letter, actually. So he should be fine.
Great. So we haven't received any questions online, Yash?
Not yet.
Okay, so those were the major concerns that we wanted to lay out. Are there any updates from the lawsuit that we should know about while we have you here? Just updates for the folks who might be watching?
Sure. So the court in the Fifth Circuit, which is in Louisiana, heard oral arguments or arguments from both sides of the case just about almost a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago, and we're all waiting for that decision. We think that it's going to take a little bit to get to our end goal, but ultimately we're going to win. On July 6th, the same court is going to hear oral arguments from both sides on the merits of the injunction, and so we're going to be waiting for that as well.
Great. So just to wrap up, we want to clarify on the 3-year DACAs. If you received it between November 20th and February 16th of this year, do not worry. You have your 3-year work permit and you're fine. But if you received it after that, you still have your 2-year work permit, but you will have to return the one that you received that had a 3-year work permit.
Yeah, and can I just say one more point of clarification? I don't want people to be confused. If you have a 2-year DACA that you received after February, that's fine. No one's going to ask for your card back. I know that I saw a lot of confusion online where people were saying, you know, how can I trust the government now? At some point, they're going to take away all of my DACA and all of my work permit, and that's not true. DACA is alive. DACA is well. You have your work permits. People who qualify for DACA but haven't applied should do that. And people should definitely renew their DACAs if they're about to expire. And they should do that before 140 days of their expiration date. So I just want to make sure that people remember that.
Great, that's great. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us via Twitter, via Facebook. You know how to contact us. But I think that wraps up for now. We just wanted to use this space really to clarify a lot of questions that we've been seeing online. So hopefully we were able to do that. And Loda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mario. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.